Hello again, welcome back. I am Sam I am, and life is one big hologram. So I had a few ideas for video topics, and I guess I should just dive right in. I also have another idea for like the next one. I'm thinking maybe I could do like draw an oracle card to like talk about a theme that comes up. So comment below if that sounds something might be interesting. So I don't really know where to start. I have a few different like ideas written down. But I guess I should go in order, but I really don't feel like it. So I'm just going to start with the one that I feel like right now. Dreams. Like when you go to sleep kind of dreams, not like goals and aspirations, but more like when you go to sleep and you have visions in your head, or you suppose they're in your head, but we're discovering actually those are alternate realities. I just saw something about that online a little while ago. It wasn't that long ago, that scientists have discovered that dreams are actually alternate realities. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's also something that Bashar has said. And I'm assuming that if you found my channel, you might be familiar with Bashar, but I'm not sure. But I totally recommend checking out who he is, what he's about. Bashar, Bashar. And there's like millions of videos of him on YouTube. So check that out. But he has said that that's part of reality, is like dreams are a lot of times can be alternate realities. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's just your subconscious like figuring stuff out on its own, in its own little creative way. But sometimes it is an actual alternate reality. And especially when you have dreams of your past loved ones, a lot of times those are visitations. Not always, but a lot of times. And I feel like you can tell, especially if you're aware that that's a possibility, that it's real. Hello, Athena. Anyways, shooting this video, I forgot I had a tripod, so I have my phone on my tripod on my desk, and we'll try this out. But if you can't see her, I won't introduce her. She only likes to come up and visit me on my desk when I'm busy. So, there. Yes, we see your tail. Okay. Don't step on the keyboard, please. Thank you. Love you. Okay. So anyway, I have always had really, really like vivid dreams. Like maybe not every single night, but like a lot of times when I remember my dreams, it's because they were very memorable. And recently, like maybe a couple weeks ago, I had a dream where I was in a rowboat on the ocean, and there was a person sitting next to me. I think it might have been my boyfriend, but it might have also been somebody from my past. The person next to me wasn't really clear because he wasn't the focus of the dream. But we were on the ocean in a rowboat trying to get to this like mountain, like a little ways offshore. And the waves were getting really choppy, and like it was starting to get dangerous. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. I got your tail. But in my dream, like for a second, like I was like, oh boy, it's getting choppy. We're about to flip. And I did something like in my head. I'm like, I think I can make the waves calm down. Like, I don't know what I did, but I was able to like use my mind to calm the ocean down, just enough to get us there, and it worked. And so I feel like that's a message that we have more control over our reality and our situation and our circumstances than we realize. Like, I didn't realize at the beginning that I was that I was the one creating the waves. But I learned like halfway through that actually, if I need the waves to calm down, I can do that. And so I feel like that's a very literal thing, but it's also figurative. A lot of reality is literally the way you perceive things. What are you doing, little cat? I swear. So, yeah. So I had that dream, and now you're going to sit on my notes. Okay, and then the other night, in my dream, I was crawling on the highway between where I grew up in a big city I grew up and where I live now. In reality, is like a couple hours away, and it's a very small town area. But in my dream, I was crawling along the highway from my hometown to where I live now. And my dad was crawling with me. My dad has passed. Both of my parents have passed. So when I see them in my dreams, I know they're trying to tell me something. So I was crawling along on this highway, and it was difficult, but not as difficult as you would think. Like, I was like, how do I explain it? It's kind of like if you were greased up and pulling yourself along on a slick road. You know, it would be difficult, but not that difficult, you know, because it's conducive to, you know, the activity. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So, and it was dark, and I was in my nightgown. And a lot of times, I have no idea what the heck my dreams are trying to say to me, right? So when I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I'll go to Google and I'll, you know, ask, what does this mean for dreams? And of course it gives, you know, the very generic terms, like, you know, for like psychology and stuff, what psychology says about this and that. And even though I believe there's more to it, those are a very helpful starting point. So being in my nightgown represents vulnerability. My dad being there, something about guidance, and he did try to guide me in life, but it was a very rough and rocky relationship for most of the time. But now that he has passed, I have had a message that when you pass, you go through a life review, right? And so going through his life review, he felt what I felt when he put me through the things he did. And so I have received a message that he regrets the way he made me feel when I was growing up, and now he's here, like, as part of my I like to call them my spirit team. So now he's part of my team, and he's a guardian for me. So when he shows up in my dream, or actually I think that's the first time he's shown up in my dreams since I've gotten that message, so I can understand that he's there to help me with something. So like I said, I'm not great at interpreting things, especially right here on the spot, but I just feel like now that I know, I've also been told, like, I have some kind of gifts relating to dreams. And I find that very frustrating because I have no idea. A lot of times my dreams are super weird and don't make any freaking sense to me at all. Um, but it was nice to have my dad in my dream, and he was being helpful to me, you know? He was being a guide, and it was a nice change from what a lot of the reality was. But I really, every now and then, I go back to focus on that dream with the ocean. That by thinking about it, I was able to calm the waves down enough to where we got to the destination. So tell me, what kind of dreams you normally have? I don't know if I'd be great at interpreting other people's dreams, especially since dreams are a very personal thing. Um, but tell me if you've had like visitors in your dreams. Maybe not even past loved ones. I know that other beings and entities can also visit us in our dreams. And I remember hearing somewhere, I don't remember where, that your pets actually dream about you. And so sometimes it's like, it's so cute. When I see Athena like sleeping somewhere, be like, oh, she's dreaming of her mama. I love her so much. But anyway, um, yes, I call her my child, and I understand that I'm not trying to be insulting to people who have actual children. I understand that it is different, okay? But she's the closest I'm gonna have to a child. Um, so I love her like crazy. So anyway, it sucks that I'm allergic to her, but we deal with what we deal with. Other than that, she's absolutely perfect. But anyway, I'm gonna try not to go off into a tangent about her too often or too long, because I'm sure that's not very interesting to everyone else. But anyway, so yeah, just wanted to talk about dreams a bit, and like those are the only two that I've had kind of recently that stand out. But ooh, I had a dream when I was in high school that took place in like what I called a neo-Holocaust situation, and it was the worst dream I've ever had, and I still remember it fairly vividly. And that was like, what, 30 years ago or so? No, not 30, 25 or so? I don't know. But that was back in high school, and I'm over 40 now, so still remember it, and it was pretty horrifying. Um, but after I talked to a friend about that dream, I was able to see how, like, where the guidance was in it. Um, so, it was a, like a ray of hope coming through. Um, Anyways, I rambled enough, I think. So talk to me in the comments. Tell me about your visitations, and any messages you've been able to interpret from weird dreams. So that'll be today's topic. So, okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.